Mount Manaia, where we are headed today. The largest mountain in Whangarei area. This is out on the Whangarei Heads, about 25-minute drive away from the city. We are heading for the top. Perhaps not the topmost pinnacle that you can see there, but pretty much where you can see those are all joined. That's where we're heading. Come with me as we walk up the mountain and take our time to enjoy the nature as we hike for a few hours. And by we, I mean Lumi!
Yeah!
Visiting from Canberra today.
Yes, and checking out this excellent lichen and curious about the holes.
Insect holes, yeah.
Mm.
All right, we're about to head down, but you're about to watch us walk up. Oh, look at this cool tree. It's doing the splits over the rock. Wow. In New Zealand, we have these amazing trees called kauri trees, and they're experiencing a fungus that is killing them called kauri dieback. I think it's fungus. And so they ask us to disinfect our shoes as we come through. So you gotta do this, and then stand on this. Woo!
I got your pants.
And away we go. Oh, the first stairs. This track has many stairs, so if you can't walk stairs, don't do this track. Here's the first spotting of a kauri tree. There is many on this track. Kauri tree is our biggest tree in New Zealand. It's a type of pine tree. That's a tui that you can hear in the background, the bird. One of the things I love about this track is that it has lots of tree doorways. So this is the first one with 2 puriri trees on either side of the track. And because this track is new, people have deliberately done it, which I love. So these are massive puriri trees. They're pretty old, I think. They extend for ages. And when they fall over, they just keep growing. So this is the first doorway into Mount Manaia. From one puriri tree doorway to another. Hi, Lumi.
Hello.
Woo! I love climbing trees, and so does Lumi.
Oh,
What's such?
Beautiful thing. Wow, look at these vines.
That's called supplejack.
Yeah.
Well, at least the English name for it is supplejack. So I'm going to take you and tell you some of the stories that I've created on this path using the Beltane mythology, just for fun, and for Lumi, who's with me.
I'm ready for the story.
Okay, so that gateway tree, here's the next one, the next big one. It reaches right over the track, spinning, sorry people on video, and then down again. And that's called a puriri tree. And when I first came and walked this track, I just moved from Edinburgh and had been part of the Beltane Fire Festival, and we were taught there to put mythology onto natural spaces. What stories can I create from the things that I see around me? And so for me, the puriri tree is the female force of the forest. She is beautiful, she is undulating, she's white, which in Beltane mythology is a woman. The puriri tree has a white trunk, and so she's very flaky and It's very noticeable. And what's amazing about the puriri tree is that they fruit all year round. They have a beautiful pink flower, which if you look on the ground around you, they're very easy to find, and usually they're all year round because they fruit all year round. And I call it the mother tree because they fruit all year round, they provide food for the birds all year round, and the birds don't necessarily like the food. Oh, there's a little ant on there too. The birds don't necessarily like the berries that come from the puriri tree, but it's kind of like porridge, you know, like it's always there, and in the winter months when there's no food, they have food. Another fun fact is that the berries were used in the muskets when people came here because they were so hard, and bullets were hard to come by and expensive. So that's the puriri tree, the white woman of the forest, and she has welcomed us through the puriri gateway, and now we're walking in the welcoming part of the forest, the first section of this walk. There's another one, puriri tree, out to Mount Albury, that's called in the English word, not sure on the Māori yet. Okay, so over there, that's Smuggler's Island in a mountain I can't remember the name of, but I'm pretty sure that's a barefoot track for most of the way around the mountain, the green one with the grass. There's a beautiful beach on the other side called Smuggler's Cove, and we'll take you there one day. Up on this hillside is the most amazingly huge Pohutukawa trees. Holy moly, they're beautiful, so definitely a fun place to play.
Yeah, dancing like this.
Sway in the wind, Lumi. It's really hard to capture how awesome this tree is on camera. You just have to come and see it in person. Like many trees in New Zealand, they sprawl, and only our human eyes can really capture it all at once. Just another view through the forest. At the very end here, you can see those red bits. That is the rewa tree. Normally you'd never see them in the tree because they're a super tall tree, but that tree's base is like, I don't know, somewhere down that hillside, so we're level with it. I'll insert some photos here of what they look like close up. Super psychedelic. Some people think they see the symbol of COVID in there. It's just a flower. It's been around for a long time and creates beautiful honey. Just our luck. A rewa flower. And the seeds. I've not got that camera angle wrong. The kauri tree is indeed leaning like that. It's a big buddy. I wouldn't encourage people to walk up to the base of a kauri tree, but when it is right on the track, this is an awesome opportunity to give this big old tree a hug. Oh yeah. And then I love to do a hongi. And just breathe. with the tree for a moment. That's a Māori greeting, but I definitely think it transcends species. At the top of the next stairs we have the Kauri Tree Gateway. Oh. We are following the Serpent Trail. And then we found this awesome wall with this black lichen. Ooh, and moss, obviously. And then down here, there are spiders' webs that must be made by the tiniest spider. Oh my goodness. Here's my finger. That's right on top of it. So details. Can't even focus. Oh my god, it's so tall. The Kauri Gateway leads us into the redwood forest, known in New Zealand as a totara, so that's these beautiful straight trees here. Growing in a forest, the totara trees grow straight and true, make really good wood. When they're in a field, they spread their branches out. They're growing alone and they take up all the space. So this is the largest totara tree on the track. And the story, mythology, Beltane story on this is that in Beltane, the red men are the symbols of chaos and mischievousness, and every year they're reborn. They contrast the white women, their counterparts, who accompany the May Queen and are the objects of law and order, as well as femininity. So the red men need to be contained by our Kauri Tree Gateway so that they don't spread their unruliness around the forest. So they're contained by the Kauri Gateway down the bottom, and there's another one up the top. The Kauris, for me in the Beltane mythology, are the blue men, but we'll get to that when we get to the Kauri zone. Okay, right in the middle of the redwood forest is another huge puriri tree. This is the biggest, as far as I know, on this track. I call this the grandmother tree, and she's in the middle of the redwood forest, keeping an eye on those red men. We just have to, this tree's really big. It's going down, it's going down, it's going down, it's going down. Here's a branch. It goes over the track. It goes under the track and then keeps going. She's a beauty. She's our grandmother, the grandmother tree of Manaia. Now we have reached the Kauri zone. This is where all the big Kauri trees are. They're the oldest and biggest trees of the New Zealand forest. They mostly grow up here in Northland, down to Auckland, a little bit further south. And I believe they're growing in different parts of the world now too, as people introduce seeds around. Lucky for us, there is a barefoot track, so I'm in bare feet again. Now in the Kauri zone you can see all their little leaves on the ground. They are, in the Beltane story, or applying the Beltane story to the trees here, they are the wisdom holders, and that's the blue men in Beltane. Blue men can be men and women, and they're the leaders of the Beltane organisation. There's usually 4 or 5 of them, or 6 of them, and on Beltane night they are fully dressed in blue, kind of like the Avatar, but they were doing it way before Avatar came out as a movie. They hold the wisdom of the forest and ritual, and they use their switches of leaves, so big long branches they hold in their hands, to separate the crowd as they're walking around Kauten Hill. So kauri trees like to grow up on rocky outcrops like this. They like free draining soil, and up here they're a super tight network of them all growing together at once. It's just beautiful. I know a lot of people actually enjoyed the actual walk through the forest, so I'm just going to walk the whole way. And then we come out to one of the most amazing lookouts in Whangarei. So up the top there, that's kind of the ridge of Manaia. And we have the oil refinery. Over there is Smuggler's Cove and the big purikau trees I was talking about. I think they call that Mount Aubrey, and there's some other mountains. There's lots of walks up there. In the distance you can see the Hen and Chicken Islands and other islands that I can't remember the name of. And then in the distance there you have Oceans Beach and Proctor's Beach, which is one of my favourite beaches in the whole world. Call it my spiritual homeland, I guess. So this is Whangarei Heads. Here's a great close-up of the kauri tree crown. The kauri tree peels its bark off to keep the vines from growing up around it. What did you say, Lumi?
A peeling kauri catches no vines.
It's beautiful. This is a new bunch of stairs that have been put in here to keep us away from the kauri roots. Here's another beauty. Ooh. So it's possible that we've missed the other kauri gateway because they may have had to change the track. Rumi found the red man gateway. The great thing about Mount Manaia is that it does stairs, and it does stairs really well. And just when you don't want to do any more stairs, it levels out and you are able to touch the rocks that you could see from a distance. Oh my gosh, some downhill. Get out of here. So we've reached the top. This whole way we've had this taniwha or serpent skin following us up the track. And now up the stairs. Climb up the last of the stairs. Woo! What a view. And there's a little bit of precipitation here, so I believe that we're currently in a cloud if you're looking at us from distance. You'll notice that the trees are quite windswept. It's because usually when it's very, very windy up here, but today it is not, it's just raining, so that's lovely.
Here we are, arrived at one of the tippy tops of Mount Manaia, and so I shall do the pom-pom dance. What type of flowers are these, Hannah?
Those are the seed pods of the rewa tree.
Rewa pom-poms. Alright.
We made it to the top. We made it to the top.
We made it to the top.
We are having a mystical experience with the mist. mist bathing.
We're having a mystical experience in the Great Mystery.
Video of us high! Woo! Both at the same time. Woo! Okay, we're gonna start making our way back down the mountain, find somewhere to eat lunch because I'm pretty sure it's not good practice or Māori tikanga to eat at the top of a mountain. So we'll go back down and find somewhere to eat. Bye, beautiful Monga. Love you. Sandwich time. Look at those stairs. Oh yeah, good workout today. Exit time.